The governor of New Mexico declares December as Osteopathic Month. See how our students, faculty, and community members are celebrating. A new national analysis shows how colleges of osteopathic medicine, including Burrell College, are improving healthcare access and supporting local economies. That story coming up. 'Tis the season. Learn how our student doctors are bringing joy to residential communities through music. It's a story you don't want to miss. All that and much more. Let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome to the DO Pulse, a podcast about osteopathic medicine, community, and education. I'm your host, Sydney Alvarez. Now this podcast is brought to you by Burrell College of Osteopathic Medicine and sponsored by GCU. Learn how GCU is the credit union that can help you meet your financial goals. Visit gcu.com for more. Today is a very special celebration as we celebrate the Governor of New Mexico's special proclamation recognizing December as National Osteopathic Month. And as you can see, I'm joined by two very special guests, Dr. Kate Nixon and student physician Anamaria Ancheta. Thank you both for being on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, so Dr. Nixon, you got the microphone, so tell us what's happening special, absolutely special for the osteopathic community. Tell us about it.
So we're really excited to celebrate Osteopathic Medicine Month. Here at Burrell, we have a lot of people coming to celebrate with us. We have a growing community here in Las Cruces and across the whole state where, because of Burrell and what they've brought here, we also have osteopathic education here, but we have osteopathic education across the state in our residency programs where we have DOs training here in their postgraduate programs, and it's really exciting to be able to see them graduate and hopefully stay here in our state. And so we're really trying to hope to get more people that graduate from Burrell to stay in New Mexico and practice here.
Well, just the recognition of osteopathic medicine, right? Let's get some basics out of the way if somebody's just watching for the first time. Tell us what osteopathic or the philosophy of osteopathy is.
Do you want to take it? Here,
you want to take it?
Yeah, I was like, you could take it.
Okay, I'm happy to. So osteopathic philosophy is it's a different approach to medicine, and we look at the whole mind, body, and spirit of a patient, not just a body part and not just the body. We really have to look at healing as a whole in order to get real results of healing, and so that is the basis of our training. We learn that the function and the form and function are interrelated, and you have to treat both. So you really do have to treat the cause. We dig and find the root cause. That's another thing people love about osteopathic physicians. But we practice in every specialty, and that's what confuses people, is that we practice alongside MDs in subspecialties in primary care, but also in subspecialties. And so you could find a DO that's your neurosurgeon. They're out there, and so that's where people get confused. But the training starts in the medical school level, where we learn to diagnose and treat with our hands. And that's what sets us apart. And patients love the power of physical touch. We know that there's healing that happens just with a simple touch, right? And when you sit down with a patient and even just examining them with your stethoscope, they feel like you were there longer, and they feel like you had more empathy when you have that physical touch. And so when you have the diagnosis and treatment with osteopathic manipulation, that's what helps patients to get better. And we can use that manipulation in all specialties. And that's what's exciting. And that's what I hope to see more of.
Thank you, Dr. Nixon. Anamaria, so I got to ask you, how do you feel? Huge congratulations to you both. The governor is going to made the declaration. How do you feel as a student?
As a student, I think it's a beautiful thing that we have this recognition across our state. 62% of medical graduates in our state are osteopathic physicians. As a third-year student, I'm in the clinics rotating, I'm in the hospital rotating with not just allopathic physicians, but my osteopathic resident physicians and my osteopathic attendings. And being here in Las Cruces, even our allopathic physicians are so eager for us to utilize our OMT skills. Both in family medicine, I've been able to help people that are having chronic neck pain, and then even in my surgery rotation, patients that are having a hard time having having a bowel movement after surgery, I've been able to do some mesenteric lift and really help them ease their time in the hospital and get them home quicker.
You know, through the magic of editing, our viewers are watching our celebration. How do you feel as a student to see this come together, the hard work that you and other students and other folks have done to bring this all together?
I'm so grateful for Burrell's partnership with NMOMA, having the New Mexico Osteopathic Medical Association.
The proclamation.
Yes, no worries.
I'll hand it to both of you all.
Being able to have this partnership, to have all our different student organizations here. We have the Latino Medical Student Association, the Black Health Education Alliance, SOMA, SSAO. Seeing all of our organizations come together to celebrate this monumentous moment means so much. I think it's amazing that our governor not only can recognize the work that we do, but signifies for our future of osteopathic medicine here with our students.
Now, I know the proclamation, I'm looking at it, it's a little lengthy for our video, but can you guys just maybe kind of read a few of the key points for us? This is the exciting part. If somebody wants to tell us just a little bit of the beginning of the proclamation.
So the first paragraph talks about the osteopathic medical profession was founded in 1874. So we just recently celebrated 150 years of osteopathic medicine. And so the next paragraph talks about how we have an additional 250 hours of training in the musculoskeletal system and in diagnosing and treating with our hands, which is what I talked about, the osteopathic manipulative treatment, which is OMT. And the next paragraph mentions what Anamaria said about 62% of our medical graduates being osteopathic. That's a big deal.
And declaring December as what?
Osteopathic Medicine Month.
Yeah, that is really exciting. It truly is. You know, what does it mean, and you kind of touched on this, Dr. Nixon, what does this mean for our state of New Mexico? In your opinion, what does this mean?
It means that osteopathic physicians are recognized, they're appreciated, and I think it means a lot. I think it means a lot, and I think the students feel it as well.
Anamaria, why did you want to be a DO?
I wanted to be a DO, oh my goodness. Sorry.
Doctor of osteopathy, yes.
I wanted to be a doctor of osteopathic medicine really because of the holistic approach that they had to healthcare. My grandfather, when he was undergoing his cancer treatment, actually was speaking to an osteopathic physician. And because of it, I felt that we were also very included as his family. And he took the extra time to really explain all the symptoms that he was going through. And that was the first physician experience that I had that was very positive for us as a family. And so I wanted to be that same resource for someone else's family.
You know, obviously the governor made the declaration, but you all worked so hard for all these other representatives to be here. How does it feel that all these folks came together to really celebrate this?
I truly feel it's a celebration of our entire state. Our osteopathic physicians are often working in rural areas that are underserved, and so having their recognition here and their presence here not only helps us to honor this day, but help them to know that we're here and that they can fight for us for other legislation to support healthcare in our state.
Thank you. Dr. Nixon, what advice do you have for current students coming up the ranks here? You got that?
Thank
there you go. Coming up the ranks, you know, what advice would you share with them?
Oh, how much time do you have?
Not a whole lot when it comes to views. But give me the elevator pitch here.
Okay. My advice is because your hands-on training, most of it ends at the end of your second year, and then you're left to go third and fourth year. You go and do your clinical rotations. Don't ever stop doing OMM. Never stop. So even if you're on a rotation where your attending physician is not really into it and doesn't really want you to treat the patients, that's okay. Treat your family, treat your friends, treat the staff, treat the nurses, treat the MAs, treat as many people as you can. As long as you never stop doing it, you'll never lose your hand skills. And so if there's one piece of advice I can give, it's that. Never stop doing OMM. And so even if you find yourself in a residency that doesn't use a lot of OMM, if it doesn't have osteopathic recognition and you don't have it as part of your curriculum, you can keep doing it and you can use it on your patients. Your patients will love it and you'll have better outcomes and better satisfaction surveys. Yeah.
Thank you so much. You know, I can't let Anamaria go without talking about, she's a local student, right? And from the border region. You know, this acknowledgement in our area is huge. And I know you, we've had conversations, I know your mother, and it means so much for the border region as well. Tell me about, you know, how it impacts you, how it makes you feel.
Having a medical school in southern New Mexico to address the healthcare issues that we face, we're facing a big healthcare shortage here, especially in southern New Mexico. So this recognition not only to me signifies the current work that current physicians are doing, but really helps to propel students like me that there are resources available here, that there's a school here that we can be able to provide the healthcare and meet those gaps that we see in our communities.
Beautiful. Thank you both so much for being on the show. I'm not going to let you go until you guys can share more information. If people want more information on any of the organizations, NOMA, student orgs, where can they go?
For our student organizations, we have on our Burrell website, you can actually click on student organizations and see each one that's available there. They also are very active on Instagram, and for NOMOMA, there is a website and an Instagram, and I'll hand it over to Dr. Nixon to talk about.
Absolutely, thank you.
Okay, so our website is nemoma.co, NMOMA.co, and our link to our Instagram should be on that webpage. So.
Thank you both for your help. We really appreciate it, okay? Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. It's time for our first break. We'll be right back. A new national analysis shows how colleges of osteopathic medicine, including Burrell College, are improving healthcare access and supporting local economies. That story coming up. 'Tis the season. Learn how our student doctors are bringing joy to residential communities through music. It's a story you don't want to miss.
Life can feel like you're always on the go. GECU is here to guide you through the home buying process with new lower rates. You can apply anytime.
I got approved!
And from virtually anywhere. Apply now at GECU.com.
I didn't grow up seeing people like me in medicine, but even then, I believed there had to be a place for me, a place where someone like me could say, "You belong." I'm a first-generation student, the first in my family to graduate high school, the first to go to college, and now the first to become a doctor. At Burrell College, I found more than just an education. I found people who believed in me. I found purpose. At Burrell College, you belong.
Hey everybody, welcome back. The American Association of Colleges of Osteopathic Medicine, AACOM, released its first ever Osteopathic Medical Education Impact Report, showcasing how osteopathic medical schools are increasing opportunities for health and well-being, driving economic growth, and strengthening communities across the nation. As you can see here to tell us more, we are joined by Dr. Robert Cain, President and CEO of AACOM. Thank you, Dr. Cain.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Glad to be here with you today.
Yeah, thank you. First off, congratulations on AACOM's first ever impact report. Now, what inspired AACOM to commission this report and why?
Well, part of the story is actually very personal. A few years ago, I found myself asking the community a series of questions after posing a scenario. So if we awakened tomorrow and all evidence of osteopathic medicine were gone, what would be missing? What would be hard to replace? And who would care? And I felt like it was really important that we should have answers to those questions because they're really talking about the value that osteopathic medicine potentially brings to the healthcare system and to the patients we serve.
Thank you for that. Let's go back to our basics. For any listeners or viewers who may be watching this and are new to AACOM, can you tell us or describe a little bit about, AACOM's role in shaping osteopathic medical education nationwide?
Sure. Well, obviously it's important also, depending upon listeners, to talk about what AACOM does to understand what's osteopathic medicine, right? So I think just a quick comment that we have 2 medical degrees in the United States, DO and MD. You may see either of those when you're being treated by a physician. Licensed to practice medicine and surgery independently and without restriction. But there's 1 degree that's taught in colleges of osteopathic medicine or COMs that hopefully brings a different perspective to the way medicine is taught and practiced. A whole person approach, something that's been part of us since our founding more than 130 years ago, mind, body, spirit emphasis, also emphasizing the body's own ability to heal itself and to recognize the role that the body's structures, supporting structures like bones, joints, and muscles play in overall maintaining health. So colleges of osteopathic medicine arise across the United States. And as they're growing, there was the need for a central association that could support those schools. So AACOM, the American Association of Colleges of Osteopathic Medicine, became that central body, right? So our main role is to help support the schools in the actions and activities that they carry out. What services can we do at a centralized national level that can help all of them as they advance that mission? It also allows us to act as the voice of osteopathic medicine, osteopathic medical education, as the national voice for our schools, so that we can advance what it is they're trying to teach.
Dr. Cain, this report shows that colleges of osteopathic medicine like Burrell collectively support 6.2 million in economic output. What does this say about the broader role of COMs like Burrell, their role in playing in communities with educating students?
Yeah, what we were looking to try to do so there are two specific parts, as you're noting, to the report, right? Workforce and economic impact. And as we think about the economic component, how do our schools support healthy communities by stimulating that economic growth? And again, that community connection goes back to the very founding of osteopathic medicine. Starts in rural America in 1892. But every time we open a new COM, new jobs are created. Some are going to be professors that are teaching in the classroom. Some are going to be supporting staff that make the school run smoothly. One of the impacts that come from opening that school is not just the dollars that will ultimately be spent in the community, but the fact that those new schools attract physicians to areas as teachers. And then their presence helps to provide much needed patient care services in those areas. We've actually even seen some shortage designations removed after a COM has opened. And then try to keep in mind that on average, a College of Osteopathic Medicine will create 700 or more jobs, which all of that ends up contributing to the local economy.
Yeah, it definitely has a ripple effect, correct? As you see this growth. Can we talk a little bit about our rural communities? Now, the report highlights that 12% of COMs graduates practice in rural areas and 16% in medically underserved areas, with some schools far exceeding that. What factors can you share with us contribute to DO graduates choosing these high need communities?
It's a combination of factors, right? So I think we'll break it into two things. The first is the admissions process itself. So our COMs tend to utilize a attract from, retain in, train in model. And things that have been shown to have positive associations. Can we attract students from small communities? Can we attract first generation students? Oftentimes a combination, right? That they're coming from rural areas and they're more likely to return to those areas, even as specialists. The fact that we selected the right way, hopefully to have the right material to work with. Then we bring them to colleges that 56% of our schools are associated with underserved areas. A fairly significant number are in rural areas. So we put them in schools that have been opened in the right parts of America to say, this is important to us. And so that we influence them throughout the educational process. But the third part that makes it work, instead of training our students in just a single large research institution in one city, we distribute them out across the healthcare system. So using a model of education that puts them into community-based teaching hospitals. Now, the important part of that is 80% of healthcare in the United States doesn't happen in those large recognized teaching hospitals. It happens in community-based centers. So we teach them there to do the common things uncommonly well in a setting that we hope they're going to come back to. So if we get them to put down roots, engage with that community, And if there's graduate medical education programs to keep them around, we up the chances that they're going to practice in underserved parts of the country.
Dr. Cain, how can COMs like Burrell and partners like community hospitals, health centers, policymakers, how can they all work together to further strengthening the physician pipelines into these rural communities? What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, so certainly conversations that we have a lot of. And one of the things we've been watching is the evolution of our conversation from something that is more tactical, of simply going to a community hospital and saying, will you take and train 10 of our students, to what's the relationship that we can build with a college of osteopathic medicine and that hospital to try to solve both of the problems we're trying to solve, right? A place to train our students and a place to recruit them to potentially become part of practice. So to create deep and lasting relationships. But recently, we've been increasing our third element, sort of a triad, if you will, which is not just to have the college talking to the hospital, but the college talking to the community. And now we want to engage the people in that community saying, what is it that we as citizens and as patients actually need? And what's the part that we can play in that? And I think that that's a powerful combination, that if we can increasingly put in place across the country, and to help individuals, governments, and other organizations realize just how committed our schools and the association are to this, that we can progressively make progress towards the question you're asking.
Dr. Cain, as we get close on time, can we look into the future? Let's talk about the future. What do you see as the biggest opportunities for COMs to expand their impact, say, both economically and in healthcare delivery?
We've talked a lot in recent months that one of the unique things about our report is that it's only focused upon what COMs are best known for, which is the educational component, right? We train the physician to go into practice. We do not have large contributions through a clinical practice enterprise or through a research enterprise. And so the numbers that you see very much reflect just the educational program itself. So I think as we continue, AACOM has work to do, each of the colleges have work to do, advocating to the federal government, to state governments for additional funding that we can funnel into research and increase that research enterprise at each college. And as we potentially grow the clinical components, especially around ambulatory services and primary care, that you'll see those numbers begin to increase in future reports. Yes. Our hope is to actually produce this on a biennial or triennial basis. This was our first, and we hope there'll be improvements with each one.
Definitely looking forward to the next, of course. As we're wrapping up our conversation, can we talk a little bit about Burrell? Is that okay with you?
Absolutely.
Cool deal. So, as you know, Burrell operates campuses in New Mexico and Florida, both states with significant health profession shortages. How do you see COMs located in shortage state areas contributing to long-term solutions?
Well, I think it goes back to part of what we've already discussed, which is that retention component, right? So if we start with the physicians, which are what are most needed, most listeners, or certainly a fair number of listeners based upon the data, are probably asking the question, where am I going to find my primary care physician, right? Where am I going to get my health care? So if the schools are doing a good job retaining physicians in their states. Now, Burrell is relatively new, but has pretty good data already. 25% of graduates in underserved areas, over 60% in primary care, about 16% staying in state. That will get noticed over time as those numbers continue to grow. And with advocacy work combined with that, and hopefully down the road, additional research and clinical components, I think those will be the things that make you attractive in both Florida and New Mexico.
And kind of, touching on your answer, what message would you share with our current osteopathic medical students, especially those training, organizations, or institutions like Burrell, about the impact they will have on the communities they serve, what would you like to say to them?
Oh, this is maybe the toughest question you've asked. There's so many directions. There's so many directions to go with this. Our patients have lost trust in many ways in our healthcare system. And I think that osteopathic medicine, because of its rural roots and because of its focus on compassion, oftentimes leading with the heart and following with the science, that they bring something to healthcare that if they'll just do what it is we're trying to teach them to do, they're going to be successful and they'll make a difference.
Beautiful. Dr. Cain, thank you so much for your time. We sincerely appreciate it. If people want more information on the report or on AACOM itself, where can they get it?
So our website is AACOM or acom.org. And yes, the research report is found on the home page as we speak.
Awesome. Dr. Cain, thank you for your time. Thank you for visiting with us. And we'll be right back after this break. 'Tis the season. Learn how our student doctors are bringing joy to residential communities through music. It's a story you don't want to miss.
I became a doctor because I wanted to do more for my family, for my community, for the people living in places where healthcare is hard to find. My parents built a life from the ground up. They taught me what hard work and sacrifice really mean. At Burrell College, I found more than just a medical education. I found purpose. Hands-on training, mentors who believed in me, and the chance to serve the communities that shaped me.
Dr. Grant.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Today, I'm an emergency medicine physician, right where I always wanted to be, on the front lines in my community, helping those who need it most. At Burrell College, you belong.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Well, now we're going to end our show with a musical performance by our student organization, Music and Medicine. Watch this.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la. Down we now our gay apparel, fa la 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 la. Stroll the ancient Yuletide carol, fa la 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 la. See the blazing Yule before us, fa la 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 la. Strike the harp and join the chorus, fa la 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 la. Follow me in every measure, fa la 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 la. While I tell of Yuletide treasure, fa la 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 la. Fast away the old year passes, fa la la la. Hail the new ye lads and lasses, fa la la. Sing we joyous all together, fa la la. Heedless of the wind and weather, fa la la. The Christmas tree at the Christmas party hall. Mistletoe hung where you can see every couple tries to stop. Rocking around the Christmas tree, let the